It's called the Henry family, I think. This is a Christian-based family, a black family. You know, this mom of now, I think she's a mom of 9 now. She's 9 or 8. But she's always show how she's very close to her husband. They're very intimate. You know, they show they share their lives on YouTube. One, because that's how you get paid. You know, because that's their platform. So she was like, you know, she's postpartum, and it's her husband's their anniversary, and she went to get a Brazilian wax. She didn't show her whole business getting waxed, but she showed herself going there and laying down. And so many women on this, on her comments were like, "You're a Christian woman, you shouldn't do these things," and all these, you know, yada yada yada. Now, will I say not everything needs to be put on social media? Yes. However, if you don't like it, you don't agree with it, keep on swiping. You're not tied to these things, these videos. You don't have to be a part of it. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to comment. Like, if I don't know who's watching this video, if y'all still here within 51 minutes, thank you. But you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, especially with social media. So if someone chooses to share this part, because you don't, first of all, you don't know who's watching, because what she's going through could be helpful to somebody else. But especially, and that's the thing about women just not supporting women. Like, you know, you don't have to put her down for what she chose to do on her platform that you're coming to watch. But I was just like, you know, my thing is about that. It's like everybody want to be all high and mighty and try to tell somebody what they should and shouldn't be doing and what they're doing wrong. But y'all quick to keep your little skeletons in y'all closet, right? So I'm trying to figure out how to say this, because I'm not sure if I'm going to post it on my social media or not. So let's say I don't want to use this person, so I'm going to just something else. Let's say somebody gets pregnant and they don't have a job or something like that, you know, and everybody is panties is in a bunch. Panties, draws, whoever's in a bunch about that person being pregnant. Well, my thing is, you would say, "Oh, that was just stupid to have a baby, and you're in a situation." It may not be the smartest thing, but it happens. You know, I'm pretty sure like a lot of us have done stupid things in the past that, you know, we made it out of. Like, so matter of fact, one of my cousins I was talking to a few weeks ago, and she was like, "Ashley, you don't trust yourself." And I said in my previous videos, I said in therapy, I don't trust myself. So I was always asking people for advice because I would be scared to make the wrong decision. And I've always been that way. So 35 years old, I've done this my entire life. I've always, 98% of the time, always asked for somebody for advice before I make a decision, because I don't trust myself to make the right decision, because I'm like, what if I make the wrong decision? But my thing is, if you make the wrong decision, is it going to kill you? She said to me, she was like, "You're not going to die in it. If I'm on a path somewhere and I make a wrong turn, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to get to my destination. It may mean that I could hit a few more construction paths, maybe delayed, but I'll still get there. Or if I make that decision, it could be a better decision to help make that trip or journey to my destination better." You know, we just don't know. So it's like, if you make a decision, it's a bad decision, but you can always come back from that bad decision. You're not going to die in it. So one of the things is like, in my family, there's some stuff going on, and I didn't say I got into it with somebody with my family, but situation happened. And when I found out about the situation, I didn't judge. I didn't have the same reaction that the other person had when they found out. And they were very upset, saying these hurtful things. And at that point, I was just like, you know what? stop. Because my thing is, people are so quick to judge somebody else on what they've done wrong or their shortcomings, but they're quick to forget your mistakes and shortcomings. They're quick to forget the skeletons you got buried in your closet. They're quick to forget all those things. And I told them, I was like, if you're coming to me asking me, expecting me to hop on the shame wagon with you, I'm not going to do that. Because one, I'm at a place right now in my life where I am noticing that, one, I fucked up plenty of times. I'm fucking up right now, a lot of things I'm doing. But I don't have room to judge somebody else. Now, would I say it was the smartest situation? No. But again, at the end of the day, what their decision that they made is not going to affect me and mine. What decision that they made is going to affect them. And, they're an adult. So, whatever decision you decide to make, you got to make sure that you can take care of your decision. That's it. And, that was something that, what was it? That's something that you have to decide to do, because at the end of the day, whatever decision that you're going to make for yourself, you have to be the one to take care of it. So, and it's not going to affect somebody else. Like, I use me and my situation for me and my boyfriend. I was like, I'm sure the things that has happened in the past between me and him, some people know, some people don't. But I'm sure there's like people in my family or whoever who may not agree to what I'm doing or who I'm with. They haven't told me about it, but my thing is, I'm sure that they don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, do I care? No, I don't, because the person I'm with is going to affect me and my future. Me, and if we have kids together, our children, our family we're building, not y'all. If my partner and I were to break up today, they'd be like, oh, Ashley, I'm sorry, but you'll be okay, keep on going. You're going to keep on, I could be in shambles. You're going to keep on going with your life. You're not going to be worried about what I'm dealing with or how I'm taking it. You're not going to be worried about that. It's not going to affect you because of what decisions I made. It's going to affect me. So my thing was, I told her, when I was talking to, I don't agree with you. I agree that I said that it wasn't a smart decision, but I'm not going to go behind somebody yelling shame and beating them down for something that is human nature. We all make mistakes. And my thing is, you don't know what kind of lesson from this decision is going to take effect. You don't know what kind of blessing is going to come from it. So my thing is like, I got pissed because I was like, for what she was saying, I'm like, you'll be okay, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's not going to affect you. And if it does, it's because you're choosing to put yourself in it for it to affect you. You're choosing to take on extra responsibility for where it's going to affect you. But at the end of the day, it's going to affect that person and whoever is they're tied to, So I just got really upset about it, because I was like, you quick to forget your bad decisions. And you are, and a lot of us do that. Like I said, it's not saying, you can keep stuff to yourself. Some things don't gotta be said. Like, if you are mad about something, okay, be mad, because you're entitled to your own feelings. Be mad. But you being mad about what I did is not my business, because it's what I decided to do. If I know people were mad, like some people were mad that I moved to Houston. For what? You picked up and moved with every woman you was with and doing what you do. So why is it wrong for me to choose to move to a different state, city, whatever, with somebody that I want to be with? I'm not asking nobody for money, for help. I'm not asking for no one for money for rent or anything else like that. I packed up my car, me and mine, made a plan, packed up our stuff, and we went. And I did get backlash for picking up and moving because I wasn't married. Matter of fact, that's my next thing. Well, no, I'm gonna say that for later because I got a rant because I'm just like tired of what I'm seeing, and I'm just like, okay, let me just get this off my chest. And so the next thing is that this video was like, or they're like, you're a Christian woman, you shouldn't be doing all this X, Y, Z. You know what? My opinion about that is shut the hell up. Because again, I think that's nothing about society right now, and one of the issues about people in church, like church people. I love going to I love my church. I love going to church. I feel free. I feel good. I feel like it's therapeutic. I feel connected. I feel more centered when I go to church. Some people don't, and I understand why they don't. Because how are you going to sit here and tell me what a Christian woman should and shouldn't be doing, but then last night you were doing what with who and to where and where? You were where? How are you going to come here and tell me that I can't have tattoos because I'm a Christian woman? Okay, the Bible may say no, not to deface or something like that with your body. They may say that, but they also said thou shouldn't cheat, and they also said fornications. They also say about so like all these drugs. So yeah, you're telling me that my tattoos is a sin and that my body is a temple, but you sitting here smoking weed and trying to tell me the same thing? You was just out here on the corner and trying to tell me what I should be doing, but not fixing yourself? The Bible also says, he who's without sin cast the first stone. So that's another thing. People try to use the Bible, God's word, scriptures. They try to use it for their benefit when they're trying to shame somebody else. But you quickly forget those same verses to be applied to what you're doing. And I understand why people don't go to churches now. I understand why people don't want to be around Christian people or something like that. I understand it because y'all are so quick to judge people and shame them when you know you're not human. When you know you are human and you know you make mistakes. Like, yes, you want to encourage them, like, hey, I made these mistakes, so I'm trying to help you to avoid these mistakes. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Like, I will say that about my pastor. My pastor, I am so grateful for my pastor because when we go to church and he's preaching, he is very clear. He gives examples. He keeps it real. He does not act like he's holier than thou. He admits that he has made mistakes because he has. And there are, like when I was growing up in our family church, our pastor wasn't like that. Nothing against my pastor, but my pastor wasn't like that. It would be like you would go there and he would be reading the scriptures, and it's a hard time for me to absorb what I was listening to when I go to church. But now with my pastor, he's like they try to relate to you. They try to connect with you. They try to show you, just like they're human too. And I am so grateful for my pastor. Like that's somebody I do trust. That's somebody I would go to for counseling. That's somebody that if I could ask a question to get some answers or some guidance, I am wholeheartedly confident that they will do it with my best interest at heart. I know that Pastor Mike Todd gets a lot of heat for what he says, but my thing is that he has expressed that he has had certain addictions in the past, but he got through it. So if you're somebody sitting in that pew who is going through something secretly that no one knows about, and your pastor is telling you that he has done these things, been through these things, experienced these things, battled these things, but where he is now, it gives you hope. It's like, okay, I'm not being shamed for what I've done, so I'm still worthy of love. I'm still worthy of blessings. I'm still worthy of God. Because a lot of people make it seem like, oh, well, you make this mistake, you're going right to hell. And that bothers me, because again, that comes again where we have resources, but because people are always so judgy and shame other people for trying to get help, there are people who are suffering in silence, not knowing what to do because they feel like they can't reach out to get assistance. Let's go back to suicide. Again, like I don't have any embarrassment, shame for me to say I used to make, or I have made several attempts with that. One, because I feel like, because I'm still here, I feel like anybody who is going through something like that, whether it's drug abuse, any kind of abuse, any kind of trauma, when they come out of it, they've dealt with it, they survived it, you don't know what blessing you could be to somebody else. Somebody could be going through something and you could pick up on something before somebody else can, and you can say, hey, let's talk, what's going on. You don't know what that could do for somebody. You don't know what it can do for somebody. You don't know. There could be somebody who is contemplating like just giving up, whether it's taking their own life, or just, you don't know. But if they have that one person who could step in and be like, hey, stop, don't do it, you're going to be okay, or let's go get help together, or let me take you, go get some help, let me take you to our pastor, or let me take you to a rehab facility or a trauma center, and I'll stay there with you. You're not alone in this. A lot of people, I think there will be a lot less suicide attempts, a lot less overdoses, a lot less, school shootings. I think like people who need help need somebody sometimes to go with them. Like, how they say you can lead a camel to water, but you can't make them drink it, something like that. Well, maybe you need to hold their hand and walk with them. Like, I can't make you go to therapy, but if you want to go to therapy, I'll drive there with you. I'll sit there with you if you need me to. I'll sit in the waiting room with you if you're out there waiting for you. I'll be there for you. A lot of people just don't know. Like, we are so shameful, and it just really hurts, because like now is that I'm realizing that, because I used to be the same way, like where I was like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing this. But I'm like, wait a minute, look at myself in the mirror. Like, what am I doing on a daily basis that I wouldn't be afraid to tell somebody else? Like, if somebody went into my closet, put my skeletons out, would I be okay with it? Or is my closet clear of skeletons? Because we all got skeletons. We all got things we don't want nobody to know about us. So, I have been working on that. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to jump on this wagon with you, a shameful wagon, because just how this person may have made a mistake, they're still owning up to their mistake, and they're still trying to make the best out of it. Just like how you made a mistakes in your past, it may have been a struggle, but you got through it. You didn't die in it. So I feel like, we are all we all should have our own opinions, yeah, but it's not always needed. I remember when I was in high school, I was at this one school, and I'm a big girl. I've always been a fat girl all my life. I remember when I wore a skirt. It was like the shorts with a skirt over it. I wore it to school one day, and one of the teachers there, she said, "You look disgusting." She was like, "You're too fat to wear that. You're disgusting." And again, I held it together. And I was upset because I went to one of my friends' houses after school. We walked to her house around the corner, and I was just really upset. And her mom was like, was pissed that that happened. And she was like, "How are you as a teacher telling this to a high school student, to a student?" But she was like, "Yeah, you look fat, you look disgusting." Okay. That day, my friend's mom told me, she was like, "Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, but it all doesn't matter." And I was like, you know what, you're right. And I wish that there's sometimes I forget that, because a lot of things that I would have done, that I have done, that I haven't done, is because I'm so worried about what other people would think about me. I'm so concerned about who will say what, who will feel what, who will think what. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I keep saying it, but I gotta put it to work. You can feel however the hell you want to feel. That's your business. Ain't my business. Because what you feel is not going to affect me. This boat is going to still keep rolling, or this show is going to still keep going. My show is not going to stop because somebody else does not like what I say, what I do, what I wear, what I believe in. It's not going to stop the show. What was it, that song? It's like, "One monkey don't stop the show," something like that. Because they don't. And when this relative told me their secret, I was supportive. I'm like, oh, my thing was like, "Are you happy?" And they said yes. That's all that matters to me, is that you're happy. Because again, this one person has been sad and going through things for years, and have been, and so something, and this person was also giving up when like, love and all these possibilities that could happen in their future, they gave up on it. And I remember when I was trying to encourage them, like, you cannot give up, you have to keep going. It just may not be your time right now. Even though you can't see it right now, it does not mean that it's not going to happen for you. They didn't believe me then, but I'm like, I did my part. I tried to support them and try to encourage them, because I believe that, there is still greatness for you. God is not, I don't think God is going to keep anybody here on earth if he's not using them for a blessing or for a lesson or for somebody. Like, you just don't know why you're here. So I told them, I was like, my question was, "Are you happy?" And they said they're happy. That was all I needed to hear. I didn't care about nothing else. You're happy. That's because that's on you. You're happy. That's all that matters. There is a lot of things, and that was like, my thing was when the other relative came to me about what they were mad about. I understand why they're mad, but my thing is, I'm not going to pick sides. My thing is, like, if they're happy, they're happy. They'll figure it out, the rest. So, during that conversation, they were like, "Well, you're supporting the wrong person. You're choosing the wrong side." I said, "I'm not choosing anybody's side. My thing is, I want my entire family to be happy. As long as you're not out here killing somebody, stealing from somebody, as long as you're happy, be happy. I don't care if you're going to be blue, black, purple, pink, orange, yellow, identify as whatever you want to identify as. That's your business." Because again, you don't know what this path that they're on is going to lead them, and how it's going to affect the next person. You don't know. And that's just the way I feel about a lot of things now. Like, I can say, "Oh, that shit is crazy," but you never know, like, what could come out of it. You don't know. And that was the thing that I was trying to say. So I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, if anyone in my family come to me waiting for me to be on the bandwagon, I'm like, I got time today. Because while I love my entire family, we got a lot of, everybody got skeletons in their closet. Everybody got their little secrets and stuff. Because I said, it's crazy how everybody, and it's not just my family, it's everybody's family, it's everybody, period. It's crazy how we want to keep our stuff to ourselves and tucked away in our closet, but when somebody else is going through something or does something that they don't agree on, they're quick to jump on that person and yell shame at them, but you forget what's in your closet. My thing is that there's a lot of things that people do that I don't agree with, but I don't judge, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's a decision that they made for themselves and their family, so they have to be able to take care of that. You know, they gotta live with that. I don't. I just, like, my decisions with who I'm going to be with and do, it's going to affect me and the person I'm with. It's not going to affect nobody else. So my thing is, so the fuck what? That's it. I should put them on a t-shirt. So the fuck what? And I might make a few t-shirts. So the fuck what? So I'm gonna STW. I'm gonna start wearing STW on my shirt, because it's like, so what? You know, I really am. Like, my partner, he's a person who, he is a very nonchalant person, and he's a person who does not give a damn about anybody's opinions. And I actually appreciate that about my partner. Like, you know, there's sometimes I'm like, all right, you a little too nonchalant for me. But it's taught me to stop caring so much about what other people think. I need to stop worrying about that. Because if I need to get help with something, or if I want to post a video like this right here, because this video may help me to get stuff off my chest and off my mind, it could also come across somebody else's page, and if they feel like sitting through this long video, then that's fine, because maybe they need to hear this. I need to stop caring what people think so much. Like, if I feel like this is therapeutic for me, I want to keep doing it. So yeah, that was the thing. So that when they're like, you know, you're back to that the Henry family and her getting her wax. This woman is a married woman, and I'm sure that her husband, who she is on this platform with, because they're going to edit together and going to see these things, he was okay with her pressing upload, submit. So if he's okay with it, that's his wife, that's his business, that's their relationship. You don't have to be on there. Like, I'm going to be doing some fashion hauls eventually, and from the hauls that I've seen, there's some people who I wear, because I wear a lot of body shapewear now. There are people who I wear body shapewear or who's in bra and panties on camera getting changed to show how clothes really fit on them, you know, to show the viewers. So I asked my partner, I was like, what are you comfortable with? Because I know what I'm comfortable with, but because I know that somebody else may see the video and somebody else may know who I am, and so they know who I am, they know who my partner is, it's going to affect them. So my thing is, I'm like, what are you comfortable with me being on my videos that I'm uploading? And we discussed it. And I'm going to respect it, because what I do, again, is going to affect him as a person and him as a man. And I'm going to be respectful of my relationship and my partner and myself. But I know what my limit is. I know what I'm comfortable with. But what I'm okay with, he may not be okay with. So I'm going to be like, all right, let me be a little more considerate to the fact that I do have a partner, and he does have feelings about certain things. So my thing is, if the woman decides to record her going to a wax place, a wax salon, and then show her laying down on the table, she ain't show her cooter, she ain't show the wax strip, she ain't show nothing. I think you may have saw her foot, if that. So the fuck what? So it's STFW, sorry. So that's what I'm just getting mad about. I'm like, and I'm mad, but it's like, why are we so bothered about what somebody else is doing with their life? Why aren't we just focusing on ourselves? Why can't we mind our business or find support? Why can't we be the resolution to an issue? Why do we have to like point it out? Okay, you point out the issue, but are you trying to trying to resolve the issue, or are you just trying to say, hey, there's an issue, go fix it? I know what's going on. Are you going to try to help me with this or no? Because if you're going to try to help me, then mind your business. We should all start doing that, me included, because there's times like where I think I said a few things and I'm like, you know what, and that's I'm like, you know, well, what am I doing to resolve the problem? If it's bothering me this much, what can I do to resolve this issue? And that comes back to where the weight loss stuff comes in. It comes to people trying to get resources, basically. So the fuck what, you're done if you do, you're done if you don't. Another thing that I want to talk about is that, because this is like a long debate that I've seen, my algorithm is on one with me because they show me different videos on different sides, and a lot of people get mad because I don't choose a side. I try to see from, I'm gonna be as great as I want to be, but I try to be neutral to understand why on both ends so that we can figure out how to move forward. That's why I'm not combative, because my thing is, if I don't like something or something is going right, I like to address it so that we can move forward. Not, to me, it's like it's no point in just talking about something or addressing something if we're not going to try to fix the problem. So do you want just to vent your frustrations and point out and just like sulk in it, or do you want to fix the problem? So if we want to fix the problem, I'm all on board. How can we fix the problem together? So the topic that I want to talk about is like, what do you bring to the table? It's when these videos show, like when you're about to start dating somebody, they say it's supposed to be like where it's like where the man is like, well, what do you bring to the table? And then the woman says, I am the table, or I got my body to bring to the table, or then it's like, well, y'all both need to bring something to the table. My thing on that, my outlook on that is, there is no table, or there is a table. The table is a relationship, or it's like let's see. Okay, so a table is a circle. Typically, a table is a circle, right? It's bare. It's plain. So when you go to that table, what do you bring to that table? And my thing with that is that a relationship, any relationship is one or more person. So typically in an average American relationship, you have two people in a relationship. I'm not talking about polygamy or anything else like that. I'm talking about a monogamous relationship. When you are joining a relationship, it's one person and one person becoming two together. It's a partnership. So that means it's not just a woman who is in this relationship. It's also a man. It's not just a man in the relationship. It's also a woman. My thing is, with that being said, is that it shouldn't always be about the man doing everything and then the woman just getting things done for her. It shouldn't be the woman doing all the things for her man. Like when they say a woman should submit to her man, that word kind of makes me choke a little bit, but I understand what it is. I think the fact is that both should submit to each other because you're both in a partnership. So my thing is, you should have something to bring to the table. When you go to when you apply for a job and you got to show a resume, they're looking at what your past is or your experience is. What skills have you gained from these past employers, and how can that be applied to this new position you're applying for? How can you better our team? That's how I look at it when it comes to relationship, because he has needs, you have needs, whether that's the physical needs, emotional needs, financial needs. I said financial, mental, emotional, physical, all those needs. Y'all both have needs. You can't just focus on his sole needs and not on your needs. You can't focus on just your needs and not his needs. Vice versa. You have to focus on both because it has to be balanced. I agree that it's not always going to be 50-50. It's not always going to be 60-40, 30-70, 80-20. It's not always going to be like that. It's going to fluctuate throughout the years and times you put in, the time you put in relationship. One, for instance, health is not always guaranteed. When you guys get married, it says through sickness and in health, which means that when your partner is sick, you do not up and leave your partner. You stick that shit through, and you stick it out, and you make up, you push through. You have to be able to cover the gap or cover where things are left out. Like, if you have a partner who is always working, right? You know, if he brings in the money and he's always at work. If he's always at work to make sure that the bills are paid, stuff like that, what are you doing? You have a home. You should be taking care of home. You know, you should be filling in that gap, because he can't do it all. He can't work however many hours he has to work, then come home to cook, clean, take care of all these other things. He needs a partner to take care of certain things. Or if a woman goes to work and she's, you know, working all day, and then the guy, you know, her partner is at home, he should be taking care of home then, you know. Or it may be that one person is better at financing or budgeting, and the other person is good at I don't know, planning and making sure certain things are in line. You guys got to bring your strengths together. So if my strength is A, C, E, then my partner can cover in where I'm lacking at. That was it, B and D, B, D, and F. It's like, you are a team, so y'all have to work together, and because whatever affects you is going to affect them. Where you fail at is going to affect them. So why can't you just be a team together and say, look, this is what my strengths are right here. I can bring this to the table. He can say, this is what I can do. I can bring this to the table. Like, one thing about, I will say, with my relationship, I am a very anxious person. I am always worried about what's next to come. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because at least I feel like when I'm worried about what's next to come, I'm trying to get us prepared. I know what bills are coming up next, what needs to be taken care of for certain things upcoming. My partner is a calm person. So when I feel really anxious and worked up, they can calm me down, keep me calm. Like, okay, Ash, take a step back. Let's really look at certain things. We're gonna be okay. You're fine. You're safe. You're good. And then it allows me to take that deep breath and be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you're right. My bad. I was looking at focusing on month 6, and we ain't got to month 2. You know. So that's something that really helps me out a lot. But I hate when I see people that's like, well, I am the table, so you should be bringing all these things to me. Well, one, my thing is like, every person needs to learn to take care of themselves, number one, because your partner is not always going to be there. Whether your partner breaks up with you, your partner has some, God forbid, a health issue happens and they are in a coma, or, you know, gets deployed, go to war, dies, divorces you, all these things. Your partner is not always going to be there. You want them to be there be there. But what do you do when you're constantly depending on somebody and then that person is no longer there? You don't know how to take care of yourself because someone has always taken care of you. Every person, whether it's a woman or a man, needs to learn at one point to take care of yourself. Everyone should learn how to work money, finance, budget, or work with money. They should learn how to, they should learn how to do a lot of things on their own, because you can't be fully dependent on that partner, because again, your partner may die and then you don't know anything about these bills coming in and out of your house. You don't know anything about who to call for life insurance, who to call for all these things. You don't know anything because someone has always taken care of it for you. Other thing about that is that I don't like where everything has to be on the man. Like, I think the day and age we live in is like where we want the old school benefits, but not live the old school way. 2024 versus, I don't know, 1960 is two different times. Back then, mom and papa, grandma, grandpa, whatever, were together for 30, 50 years. But let's think about where we were back then versus where we were now, or where we are now. Women back in the day could not work. They could not work. They had to depend on their husbands. Most of the times, it was more like a business thing where they got married. It was like, okay, well, the father gives his daughter away to the man who, so the man can take care of her, and then she can start a family or give kids. The man used to go to work, pay all the bills, and the woman would stay home with the kids, and they would take care of the kids, take care of the house, cook, clean. But they couldn't go to work. And then life back then was able to run off of a one income household. So when the man cheated or had multiple women, the wife wouldn't leave so quickly. She would, it was more effort into making it work and trying to, work things out. 2024, everybody's working. There's very few people who in society now who are in a single income household, and everyone is living comfortably. So there has to be two people going to work to make to live a lifestyle, and not everybody can work. So my thing is that you both got, like I say, you both got to be on your own and do your things. But what was I getting with this? It shouldn't always have to be the man to take care of everything, because like I said, all of that weight. So yeah, I'm sorry. So what I was trying to say is that people want to have these lifestyles where the man takes care of everything and then you sit and don't do shit. And that's not the way it is going to be nowadays, because You want to have the man go out and work, bring all the money home, then you don't do anything and just sit there and chill and pick here and there what you want to do. But then you don't want to do what that role of a woman in that case would be: stay home and cook and clean. You would be like, I'm independent, I'm grown on this and that. Yeah, okay, yeah, and that's all well and fine. So with that, you can't expect that man to be the same man that you want went from like 30 years ago, whatever. It's not gonna work these times. Yeah, there's times like where a man can take care of everything, but it's like, I don't know. It's just mind blowing to me about certain things, how people just want specific ways of life, but then you don't want to I guess experience the negative. You want the pros from this time, but not the negatives. Like, you want to have the man of 1950, but then it's like back then that man was not always faithful. You want to have, I don't know, it's just a lot. I just sit here and think, like, I have people who I talk to, who talks to me. That makes me also lead into this thing, like, where it comes to marriage. I had a conversation recently, and I think that the conversation I had recently, the person I was talking to is getting what I was listening to what they were saying. I was like, how do you feel about marriage? And they said, what they explained was that when somebody gets married, someone else like, I want that right there. And it was meaning towards the wedding part, like, because they had this wedding and this experience type deal, they want to have the same thing. And I was like, well, that's a wedding. I'm asking about what do you feel about marriage, because the wedding part, can come and go. I work with the wedding. The wedding isn't for a day. A wedding isn't even a full day type deal. So my thing is, when it comes to a wedding for me, look, I would like to have a wedding, like a wedding dress and do the whole aisle thing and vow thing. Is it on the top of my list? Hell no, not anymore. And me and this person, we talked about it and we shared our views about it, and I get what they're saying. Let's start with, they pointed out this thing. I pointed out something that I didn't realize it, but I agree. They said that when a divorce happens, typically it's beneficial for the woman, and if she has kids, for sure it's going to be for the woman and the kid, but you don't worry about the man and his needs. Like, if the man is paying alimony and child support, you gotta worry about him still trying to be able to live his life and still have a roof over his head. He's ass out. And I was like, you know what? I never thought about that. You're right. But I also feel like, so I was like, I used to understand. I used to understand, but then I didn't understand about these premarital agreements. What was it called? Those prenups. So my thing is that I watched a podcast about a month ago, and it was like a divorce attorney. I think it was like a Millionaire Mind, something like that. I'll try to name it later if I can find it. But in this interview, this divorce attorney said that, why would you want to get married? And he says the thing is that this one couple, he gave an example of, they did a prenup, and the woman was a younger woman. She was marrying a guy for money, basically. And the man was marrying a woman because she looked good. So in the prenup, in the prenup, the man in the prenup, when he wrote his prenup in the contract, he said that his wife needed to maintain a specific weight percentage or a range of weight from the wedding day. And if she doesn't, when they divorce, for every pound over she is, I believe, he deducts like a certain amount of money from her alimony. And then, but now it's like if divorce comes up, they're both entering in knowing what the repercussions if it doesn't work out. So my thing is that if we all sign prenups and we both again put in what we both wanted and our expectations, came to an agreement, because that's when you sign it, because you agree to it. That's what a contract is. When you enter into this contract saying that I'm going to follow XYZ, he's going to follow ABC. And if he doesn't follow this right here and we break up, I get this. And if I fail, whatever, he gets this. Now, when you're entering into it, you both come to an agreement like, okay, I'm going to hold up my end. And if I don't, I know what's going to happen. So, with that being said, is that I'm okay with doing a prenup. Because I feel like when people have a prenup, you know what the outcome is. You won't be so quick to leave. It's like, okay, well, I need to, if I don't do this and I get divorced, I'm going to be out of all these things. So let me just take a little bit more time to try to make it work. Have I used all my resources to make sure we've done the work we can to fix this, to repair this? And if you have, and it doesn't work out, at least you can say, like, we tried everything and it hasn't worked out. But most people will just be like, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. I'm out. I'm done. And how do you expect to have a marriage for 20, 30 plus years when the first one or two mistakes, you're ready to bounce? So I do understand when they said about a prenup, you know, a wedding, it more benefits the woman. Also, if you see the average wedding, it's always surrounding the bride. It's not really surrounding the groom. It's always the bride, the bride, the bride, the bride, the bride. And I made it very clear to my partner that if we got married, if we got married, I don't really care for a wedding. I am okay with you and I taking a trip to Bali or taking a trip somewhere. We can go to my pastor and say, can you marry us in your office? And then have our bags packed in the car and go hop a flight to somewhere amazing and have a amazing honeymoon vacation. I'm going to pay all this money for a dress I'm going to wear it for not even a full day. Everybody coming to your wedding, more people will come to the reception than the wedding. Because the reception is like, oh, well, we got free food, we got free alcohol, we can dance, we can party, and I ain't got to worry about paying anything. So, yeah, I'm like, I don't need a wedding. I am okay, because it's like, is it for me and you, or is it for everyone else around us? But when they told me like their opinion about marriage, they're like, you know, coming up under, you know, God and making a solemn like promise to and commitment to each other under God. He's like, that's what marriage is to me. And I was like, that's what I've been saying the entire time. I think that when I bring up getting married, they think about a wedding. And I'm like, I don't care about a damn wedding. I know a lot of people who have been like almost finished on this wedding, and then you in debt, or you didn't spend all this money on the wedding, and you got all these collections and debt piling up, but you can spend $20,000, $30,000 on a wedding. But you can be also put that same money you came up to spend on this wedding for one day, not even a full day. You could have just applied all that money to these bills and been debt free, and then have a party later on. My priority is not a wedding. My priority is making a commitment, a promise, a commitment to the person that I love and the person that I chose to be with, between me and you and God. Because at the end of the day, that's all I want in my business is me, him, and God. I don't want my family my business. I don't want his family my business, our business. It should be me, you, and God. And if we need to get a therapist, a therapist. So I don't worry about a wedding part. I don't worry about that because it's not important to me. That the longevity of a marriage is what's important to me. So then, like, back to getting married, I'm like, is marriage really a big deal? Some people will say it's a big deal, you know, again, outside of the commitment you make to your partner, that pure commitment, you know, with God involved with it. Outside of that, I feel like, what is really marriage? Because people are so quick to get married and then you don't know that person. You don't know that person you're with. And if you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you should take your time to get to know this person before you are committed to them, tied to them, all those things. When I get married, I want to make sure that before we run to get a divorce, before divorce comes up in the sentence or a conversation, we have explored every single option, resources available. If one counselor doesn't work, let's go to another one. If this doesn't work, let's try this right here again. Like I said in the beginning of this message, I feel that you have a destination. There's many different roads to take to get to that destination. It may take you longer, it may take you less time, but you'll still get to that destination because it's meant for you to be. It's meant for you. And that destination is what God has chosen for you to take and for you to be at. No matter how many slip-ups you're going to take or make, you're going to get there eventually. Because none of us know like how far we are from our destination. I may say that my end goal is to have a 5-bedroom house, 3-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 3-car garage, and a she shed in the back. That could be my end goal. Like, once I get this, I'm good. I love this. God's plan may be like, you know, you don't like to mow not one damn lawn, grass on the lawn. You know, you don't like to plant not one damn flower. You know, if a pipe bursts or something needs to be repaired, you're not gonna fix it. God's plan could be like, Ashley, I'm gonna give you a townhouse that you can rent and have all the space that you want, but I'm going to make sure that what you need to be taken care of is taken care of, because I know that you are not going to, this is not for you to like do the repairs. Could be. It could be that I end up in an apartment because I know that if I don't have kids by a certain age, I want to be able to travel. Like, if I don't have kids in the future, I want to be able to live a life where, you know what, I want to take me a long vacation and I'm going to travel Europe. I don't want to worry about a house. If I can be like, you know what, my lease ends in a year. Okay, Ashley, so my lease ends in a year, so I know that I want to travel somewhere. I may not want to be here. Let me just say, maybe I want to move and live out of the country for a little bit. I can just, my lease ends this right here, so I got this amount of time right here to get myself together to move. You know, I may not want to sit still and be here, be in Houston. I may want to go to Dallas. I may want to go to Arizona. I may want to go to Seattle. I may want to go to Atlanta. I may want to go to Canada. I may want to go to Africa. I may want to go to Paris, because I don't need to sit, so it could be that any path that you're